views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Get ready to experience the truth. Welcome to Truth Talk Radio with your host, Deb Acker. Truth Talk Radio is the hit show that will illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. Unleash your intuitive nature while Deb helps you stop looking outside yourself for value and happiness, break through patterns, and move into your authentic truth at lightning speed. Truth Talk Radio will leave you feeling lighter, help you live with more presence, passion, and clarity, and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Now here's your host, Deb Acker.
Hello, everyone. I'm Deb Acker, and you are listening to Truth Talk on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with me for the next hours. I help the truth, nothing but the truth. Each week on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. East, inspiring and unique souls, speakers, and authors helping to you into more light, love, and, of course, truth. And before we get started, I'd like to start out today's show with an intention. For today's show is that everyone that needs to hear this conversation hears it, and that you leave feeling expansive, inspired, lit up, and ready to take massive action. And with that, I'd like to introduce today's guest, Robert Novak. Robert is a master intuitive, inspiring teacher, writer, speaker, and master of the UN method. Robert's divinely inspired transformational work with clients is the catalyst providing them the empowerment and improvements in their life to become their own self-expert, to know their purposes in life, and to live them. Robert has the unique ability to pinpoint exactly the answer to improve and progress one's life. Robert is the creator of the Advancing Life Network, where he shares inspiring writings, meditations, and videos to advance one's life. And some of his inspired transformational writings include Spirituality of Success, God's Divine Creations for Knowing Your Soul's Purposes, Restore Feminine Power, Restore Peace, Restore Balance, and Improve Your Physical Potential. Robert is also the co-author of Allowing God, and with Master and Charmin Wudu An. And my experience of Robert is that of a kind and gentle soul that wants to make a big impact on the planet. Welcome, Robert. How are you?
I'm great, Deb, and how are you?
Good. I just did an energy clearing in my Living in Your Truth community, and it's so interesting because the energy was so big that I was having all these technical issues right before we got on the call. I was like, sweet. So, yes, I'm so excited to have you here today. I'm just so excited to have you on the show and be talking about today. Tell about your journey. How did you get on this path?
Well, it's one of those things that, if you want to say it started when you're young, right? But I know I'm a little bit older than you. So way back when, a lot of these things were not accepted, but you realize certain things, right? So I just went ahead and went with the flow of things. I was very religious, very, into my faith. And I went the path of getting a normal job because I was a business executive, CPA, right? And that's what I did. And then about 9 years ago, my wife passed away from cancer, right? And left me 3 daughters to raise. And at that time, then, of course, I went on this journey and really opened up to all the different things that, interest me when I was younger, but didn't know what this was all about, right? To where with all the different healing modalities and the journeys I went through and so forth, it just started transforming me, have me show up to live in a different light, and now start sharing it in that aspect.
Awesome. Well, and so, you mentioned your wife passing away from cancer. How did you begin to, obviously that's a really big loss. I've had several family members, including my mom, pass away from cancer. How did you begin to deal with that? How did you begin to shift and to really heal from that?
Well, my whole approach to life a lot of times is here we are. right? and it's just a simple, okay, here we are. And me having 3 daughters to raise at the time, they were 16, 12, and 4. It's like I had to show up, right? So not only did I have to assist them with things, but then I had to assist me. And one of my first journeys was learning the what's called the journey, which is taught by Brandon Bays, who was a personal assistant to Tony Robbins, right? And that was one of my first trainings where, if you never heard the story of Brandon, I'll just share with you real quick. Brandon, who was very much holistic and very much in a lot of the other, healing modalities at that time, she was very healthy, except that she developed a basketball-sized tumor in her gut, right? And it wasn't until that she just kind of dropped into this emotion that was holding this cell level memory and dealt with that, and it released. And then within a few weeks, this basketball-sized tumor was gone, right? So that was my first, journey with that, and how perfect that I was set up, to do that, because it made me go into those different emotions and drop in them and bring forth myself, but then also hold that space for my daughters, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me more about that. I think we sometimes take for granted that sometimes when our body is in pain, our body has pain, that it's just sort of happening to us. What's your perspective on, obviously we're talking about our body's emotion, basically our body's innate intelligence and the pain and the messages our body has with pain. What is your perspective on that?
Well, to me, okay, the pain always exists before the degeneration, okay? We want to look and say, oh, the body's degenerating, therefore it's creating more pain. But it's actually the other way around, okay? And I, not only learning this through Dr. Ewan and Dr. Brad Nelson and whomever else, my own experiences of working with people, that the pains and so forth can be resolved, that someone's having symptoms in their body or just an emotional state, not being confident and everything else, is there because of some other pain or unresolved issue, whatever that may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
So it's fascinating. So talk to me more about when you're talking about degeneration, what does that mean to you?
Well, it could mean, many different things. Let's we can just get into aging cycle, but let's say someone's bones are getting more brittle or degenerating, right? I mean, there could very well be a weakness there that the body's trying to say that something else exists prior to that, all right, that needs to be resolved. And that could be as simple as removing some past spiritual experiences, if you want to say, or experiences of aging in the past, or connecting with the aging cycle for whatever reason that needs to be, you need to be, if you want to strengthen to and delete that connection so then it doesn't happen to you as much. I mean, what we go through in our collective, how we connect with it, can also be a major concern.
Well, and so let me ask you, before we head to break here, what's another example that you have of that, of how that pain basically, where that pain maybe stemmed from emotionally, and then how that translated into body pain?
Yeah. So let's work with this one. I was at an expo, and this person came up because I was, saying, hey, let's delete, physical pain. And her name was Judy, and she was actually a yoga instructor and also taught Ayurvedic medicine, right? And she had a pain in her right shoulder. And I asked her, it's like, okay, well, what level is it on a scale of 1 to 10? She said a 6. Okay, so here's what, I did. Immediately, then I followed the weakness and and it said, okay, the pain, the right shoulder, there's no pain in the right shoulder. The believe it or not, her body was telling me that there's no pain in the right shoulder. Okay, that wasn't the weakness. So that's what she's experiencing. So what I did was then I strengthened her breastbone, okay, her left shoulder, and her reproductive system, okay, and that started relieving the pain. But then from there, okay, this is what's real interesting, and it's more than just an emotional aspect, is then I said, okay, the remaining pain, is it physical, non-physical, and have to be spiritual? And what was interesting is this actually then came from an ancestral karma of where someone has, ancestors has stabbed people in the shoulder before. So once we just strengthened and deleted that, I mean, very quickly in 10 seconds, then the pain was gone. Okay. So here, it's different in emotion. It was holding on to an ancestral inherited situation, right? And emotions could do the same thing.
Well, and so just to clarify, basically this woman came to you, she had pain in her right shoulder, but when you were muscle testing it, you were getting that the pain wasn't actually in her right shoulder. And so when you cleared that ancestral pain, you were able to take away the pain that she was actually experiencing in her right shoulder that wasn't actually being generated by her right shoulder.
Exactly.
Okay.
And what's interesting is, our whole body operates as a whole. Okay. So when another part of our body is not, as strong as it needs to be, it can refer a pain to another spot. So there's 3 other spots in her body that was actually, part of the cause of the pain. Okay. So we want to always look at this body as this whole body, this whole, if you want to say, biocomputer that is, really resonating certain things to us. It's in communication, completely. All the cells and everything else are whole, working. And so this is what transpired. But of course, there was this pain from another, even the ancestors that was actually also creating, this manifestation of this pain in the right shoulder. Pretty crazy, right?
Okay, so I want to talk to you. Yeah, we're going to take a break here. I want to talk to you more about that ancestral pain, right? Because I think a lot of us don't realize that some of the stuff that's happening in our body is being generated down the line, right? It's something that we can actually shift really quickly, and it's something that's come from someone else. And just the awareness of that can be so, so powerful. So we are going to take a quick break. You are listening to Truth Talk, and I am your host, Deb Acker. When we come back, we are going to explore more of pain and undoing pain with Robert. So just stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
Called the Oprah of radio by her listeners. Award-winning host Dr. Pat Baccili is blowing the doors off of traditional talk radio. Get ready for an energizing delivery and powerful interviews with leaders in the field of human potential. Dr. Pat's fresh, new perspective on living life full out has catapulted her show to the top of talk radio. Tune in and Dr. Pat will help you thrive instead of merely survive. Visit thedrpatshow.com. That's THEDRPatshow.com for listening times in your area.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit TheTruthIsFunny.com.
The doctor is in. Tune in to the hit show, The Psychic Love Doctor, with host Deborah Lee. Deborah's life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. Join Deborah Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific, and for a special broadcast the second Thursday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
Hi, I'm Tim Darter.
And I'm Steve Kramer.
Join us on Spirit Fire Radio. Discover how to add the mechanics of meditation to your day.
And watch yourself connect in a whole new way. Find the amazing moments in life's routines that often pass us by. Add to your awareness with Spirit Fire Radio.
Tune in each Wednesday at 9 a.m. for your weekly guide to practical mindfulness. And to learn more, visit www.spiritfireradio.com.
We're back on Truth Talk. I am your host, Deb Acker. My guest today is Robert Novak, and we are talking about pain and undoing pain to really live stress-free and be more abundant. Before we continue, Robert, can you share with the listeners your contact info and even this new program that you're starting this evening?
Absolutely. So my website is bewillingtobeamazed.com. And I think it's pretty fun. I'll have to tell you a story with that. But anyways, also I'm starting a new gathering tonight called Improve the Potentials of Your Life Gathering. And that's what life is. It's all potentials, right? But what we're doing here is we're removing the weaknesses, the things that have accumulated that's holding us back. And we do it very quickly. It's really very fascinating. And then start, empowering us from that spot. And so I'm very much looking forward to this with the group that I have. But by all means, anyone else can still join. We still have another hour and a half or so before it's closed out.
Perfect. Well, and just for our listeners, if anyone's listening right now that has pain, that would like some assistance from Robert, you can definitely feel free to call in. We are taking live callers today, and you can call in at 800-930-2819. So that's 800-930-2819. And so before the break, Robert, I know we were talking about, we just started to touch on this ancestral pain. And I really think, it's a conversation that I haven't really heard a lot of people discussing. So talk to us more about, what is the relationship between, what the relationship can be between our ancestors and having pain in our body.
Right. And, one of the things, I'll even expand that a little bit as well. It's not only ancestors, but anything could, weaken us. I mean, it can actually be our descendants too, right? If we're not strong to what's going on related to that, and also collective, cultural, religious type of things also can weaken us and cause us pain, believe it or not. And it's not just a physical pain, but also mental and emotional. But what's so interesting with the ancestors is that the things that held them back, or caused them trouble, does appear in our life in many times and creates pains for us. And I know it's so wonderful. I was just at a conference a month ago or so, and I was able to watch Dr. Brad Nelson of the Body Code 2.0 also demonstrate his body code system, but also the emotional code system. And he went into the aspect also of this inherited emotion. So if things aren't resolving in you, which can be a huge aspect of where someone's looking to take on surgery because there's so much pain for so long, and it just be this inherited emotion, meaning that your body is signaling that this isn't even yours. And you can then go back and test, okay, is it coming from your mom, or your mom's side of the family, or your dad's side of the family? So let's say if it's your mom's side of the family, and then you can say, okay, now is it coming from your mom's dad or your mom's mom, right? And work that back to see how many generations that this is a problem, okay? And then you can very easily, once identifying that, relieve it. But you can. I mean, with the method I use, the Ewan method, we just, by identifying it, also then, kind of strengthening someone's spinal cord, just that energy on the spinal cord, then it starts resolving it, strengthen and delete. Now with the body code, which is interesting, and this is what, I really want people to understand how amazing our body is. What they do when it's an inherited emotion, okay, they take a magnet and they rub it, they run it 10 times down someone's spine to relieve that inherited emotion. Okay, now he's using a magnet, but he also says you can use your fingertips because your fingertips are also magnetic. But no matter what, will relieve it. And it has been shown that not only with what I do, but what he does too, that people can avoid the surgery or the pain because this inherited emotion causing all this is now no longer an issue.
Yeah, so basically what you're talking about is literally taking a you can actually, I know Dr. Nelson teaches how to do this, like where you act as a conduit for someone else's body. So you can actually do this with the intention of clearing them on your own body, and it clears them. But literally, he takes that magnet and he, goes either over the head or down the spine, and it clears it. Which is pretty powerful, pretty incredible stuff. How does Dr. Nelson's method differentiate from Dr. Ewan and what you had learned there? What is Dr. Ewan's method?
Well, Dr. Ewan's method is, in my opinion, a lot quicker because it's more intuitive insight. Okay. And what's great about Dr. Nelson's method, which is both great, don't get me wrong, is he's really laid it out in a nice program to where if you're unsure of yourself, you're just following it. Where the two are exactly the same. This is, what I want to share so much with everyone is that whether you're doing, Dr. Ewan's method or Dr. Nelson's method, you're comparing two different things to find out what is the situation. So like with Dr. Ewan's method, we're following the weaknesses, okay? So the weak signals that our body's, giving us. So if we're comparing and saying, again, is this situation physical or non-physical, we're just making a comparison of two things. And whatever's weakest, then we're going to follow that path, okay? With Dr. Nelson's, he's doing a lot of the same type of thing, but let's say because he has it laid out in this program, he's, comparing, let's say, two columns. He's saying, okay, is the problem in the right column or the left column, right? And getting that response and following that line. So it's the same type of thing, but it's using this innate intelligence that's here with us to give us the answer to follow, then to resolve it. Yeah, and he's so much of how he's getting those answers is through muscle testing. Can you just, for listeners that are not familiar with muscle testing, can you describe what that looks like? Well, it comes different ways. One can use the sway method, if you want to say, where you're standing up, and if you say yes, this is the thing, you would kind of fall forward, and if it's a no, you'd go back. So the same thing. If it's a strong response, you would fall forward, but if it's a weak response, you'd fall back, right? So that is the concept, and you could also do it with the fingers. Very easily, to where both of them are kind of looped on both hands, just with the index and the thumb. And a yes response would be that this loop of these two fingers and thumb together would not break. But if it's a no response or a weak response, it would break, and therefore to follow that direction as well. But with the DoIT method, we're just doing it very intuitive. We're not actually doing the muscle testing. It's an automatic thing. It's because here's our body, it being so intelligent, after start doing, whether it be a more like a slower muscle testing, your body will automatically pick it up. It's that intelligent. So when you just can, go right to the answer, it resolves it immediately. Okay, that's what makes it so amazingly quick. So you can actually just, get that sensitive in understanding, feeling someone's energy weak or strong.
Well, and I want to talk to you more about that when we after our break. Just for clarification, too, just for listeners. So basically with the sway test, like if you're standing up right now and you say the words yes, 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 your body should naturally rock forward. Now, occasionally what you'll find is when you do that, you rock backwards, and it's sometimes because our wires are crossed, and so there's a quick clearing to shift that. But in general, when you're standing up, if you say yes, 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 your body will rock forward. And if you say no, 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 your body will rock backwards. And then that is one way to do a muscle testing. So we're going to come back. We're going to talk with Robert more about this stuff because there's so much fascinating stuff with our body and in various different ways that we can really tap into living stress-free, into being abundant, into just undoing pain. And so you're listening to Truth Talk. I'm your host, Deb Acker. We're going to take this quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more with Robert. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Tim Darter.
And I'm Steve Kramer.
Join us on Spirit Fire Radio. Discover how to add the mechanics of meditation to your day.
And watch yourself connect in a whole new way. Find the amazing moments in life's routines that often pass us by. Add to your awareness with Spirit Fire Radio.
Tune in each Wednesday at 9 a.m. for your weekly guide to practical mindfulness. And to learn more, visit www.spiritfireradio.com.
The doctor is in. Tune in to the hit show, The Psychic Love Doctor, with host Deborah Lee. Deborah's life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. Join Deborah Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific, and for a special broadcast the second Thursday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
There are so many resources out there for meditation. But did you know that Atana's Heart Earth Healing Meditation is available for you for free? Yes, that's right. You can receive this free healing meditation today from Atana Vadili. All you need to do is visit his website, atanamethod.com. That's ATAANA method.com, and sign up. You will receive your free meditation instantly. That's atanamethod.com.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish. Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic. Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
We're we're back on Truth Talk, and for those just tuning in, I'm here talking with Robert Novak, and we are talking about our body's innate intelligence and really how to undo pain so that we can live more stress-free and live into abundance. And really, Robert, I want to talk to you about the relationship to abundance and the pain in our body. Can you tell us about this? What is the connection to money and our ancestors and this pain that we have in our body?
Right. So let's, there's many different little segments here that we want to go into here. So when we look at abundance or finances or money, here again, what we want to do is first, if we say abundance, finances or money, whatever aspect that we're looking at here, because of course, abundance is just not finance and money. But if we look at that, first of all, we want to feel for is, does our body give us a strong or weak signal? Okay. Because, immediately, and this is normally the case, we think we have, let's say, a money problem or a finance problem or it's abundance problem, and it's not the case. And our body will say, okay, that's a strong signal. So, all right. So what is the thing that's causing me a money problem? Okay. And it could be, one of it could be, believe it or not, relationships. Okay. Relationships could be causing a money or finance, problem. And that then has to be resolved. And relationships could be personal. It could be social. It could be business. Right. And as those are resolved, then it frees some of that up. But then abundance, it can also be a fitness problem, believe it or not. So fitness, if our body is not, I don't want to say like you're pushing, you're buffed. It's more of an internal fitness that things are really working well in our body, because our body is, the thing that carries us through. And if it's not operating like it should, okay, this can also affect our money, right? So that's just some of the aspects to look at. But the first thing we want to do is that really the problem? Okay, that's why it's so important to be able to do this muscle test. Is it strong or weak? And then if not, we follow what is giving that, weak signal. Now, one of the other things that is very, very interesting with, a lot of different people I worked with, finance and money type of things, is, let's say having more. Everyone wants more money, right? It's like constantly, yeah, I want more money, right? We all want it, right? So again, when we test it, it's like, okay, where's this weakness coming from, or what's going on here? And it's interesting that having more money, there could be a weakness to that, because the past spiritual experiences of having more money created pain, right? Some sort of pain in our life. Okay, what type of pains could it be? Well, it could be, taking, abuse for having, money. You have some money. It's like, oh, you're a snob, right? Or whatever else could be. It could be, again, this ancestors, which a lot of times it can be. You look back at the ancestral spiritual experiences. Let's say they had a lot of money, and back in the day, hundreds of years ago, people used to fight people for all kinds of different things. And people can be abused, killed over, and everything else. Right. So if these experiences are there as well, then this affects things. Now, also, one of the other things I've seen a lot of times with having money, whatever else, is where the ancestors, okay, have these experiences where they've made others lose money. Right. So then this becomes, kind of a karmic relationship that if it's not resolved, back then, it's something then gets passed on to the descendants to resolve. So it's kind of crazy, but it could be so many different things.
Well, and I actually, I know we talked about this before the call, and I will graciously volunteer if there's something that you want to look at to kind of demonstrate what you're talking about to our listeners. I will graciously volunteer. Like, I'm definitely abundant, but I think we all have more opportunities to be even more abundant and to raise our income and our abundance ceilings. And just to, like you said, abundance isn't just money.
Right.
And so, if there's something that I will graciously volunteer. If there is something that you want to look at and demonstrate with me, that would be awesome.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
So let's actually look at it from this perspective, okay? And here's what comes up to look at. So if we look at abundance view, the question that comes up, or what comes up for me, is looking at achievements, success, and fulfillment. Okay, so looking at these three dynamics. So if I look at achievements, success, and fulfillment, and start comparing, okay, which one is the weakest? Achievement, success, fulfillment. Success, fulfillment. More success is weaker. Okay, so even though you've been successful, okay, there's still some weaknesses, and so is it yours or someone else's? It is yours. So we need to start resolving some of those success, type of things, those experiences that weren't as impactful or powerful for you, right? So if we start, strengthening you to that and look at that, there's definitely some, experiences of, well, I'm going to use the female thing in a man's world that has created some not successes. Does that make some sense?
That absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
That's funny that you're bringing this up. This is one thing I'm working on right now. So that's awesome.
Well, yeah, it is awesome, right? So it's awesome that you bring it up. So let's go ahead and strengthen and delete those accumulated effects of those things, because there's definitely some, frustration here related to this, right? So let's go ahead and keep resolving this. And when we look at this, there's definitely then some, karma here. And if we look at karma, is it direct, indirect, or partial indirect? Indirect. Okay, so this, I will go to the ancestors and start resolving that karma, because some of the ancestors have not been that kind to, females, as far as keeping them or allowing them to be successful, or keeping them from being successful, right? So let's start resolving that karma with them, so then you can actually be, more successful here. And we also want to resolve if we look at, bosses, were you, if you don't mind me saying, were you unjustly, I don't want to say terminated, but maybe you were, but just
totally.
Yeah.
That was actually, it's so funny. I have a karma thing with my last boss.
Yeah.
And this is when I completed my last full-time job in the corporate world.
Yep.
And we, in the past life, I stuck it to him. And so in this lifetime, I was unfairly or unjustly just let go, which was a beautiful thing, because I was completing and ready to go into full-on coaching. Right. And it still was unjust. So yeah,
exactly.
So right on. So spot on.
Yeah. So we want to go ahead and resolve this. Okay. We want to resolve this, get it all resolved, all descendants passing down and all going back to all different ancestors and everyone else, all angles of this we want to be resolved. Okay. So let's just go ahead and do that. So now when I look at success, that's stronger, and achievement, now I'm going to look at fulfillment. Okay. Fulfillment then is needs, wants, and desires. Okay. So needs and wants are strong, but desires, okay, there's a little bit of weakness here. And when I look at the desires, there's a limitation here, weakness that, the subconscious is putting on you, okay? And if we look at this, again, what's coming up in the subconscious, because the subconscious, the mind wants to overguard us, overprotect us, right? Because of these past experiences. So if you now start, fulfilling your desires, what does that mean then, as far as being a female, a woman, and really being successful and achieving things, getting your desires? Okay, it's overprotecting you. So we want to start resolving this in the subconscious, so then it's not, creating this conflict to where then your desires, it's things that you really desire, can manifest in your life, right? So now when I look at achievement, success, and fulfillment, that feels a lot stronger. But let's go ahead and reinforce that strength and then get the external dynamics stronger. So when I look then at the culture, there's a weakness to the culture of achievements, success and fulfillment. So we want to definitely strengthen to that and delete any accumulated effects there. So as we do that and so forth, how are you feeling about your abundance now? How's it seem to you?
I mean, the energy feels like it's shifting, like for sure. Like I can feel it feels lighter.
Yeah,
it feels
absolutely,
lighter.
Right? Pretty crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and this is just following the weakness, right? And allowing to whatever present itself to be there and resolve, right? And this is where sometimes when we're first learning these things, it's like, no, it can't be that, right? The mind gets in the way. It's like, no, is that possible? It's like, it is possible, right? Because our intelligence has given this to us, and we're just going to strengthen and delete the accumulated effects and then restore the body, mind, and spirit so it can move forward like it's supposed to.
Yeah, no, that's extremely powerful. And so as you were shifting that, obviously you were just asking questions and then doing some muscle testing, but what were you using to shift that?
Okay, so I've become pretty automatic, but normally when we first start out learning it, you send a strong energetic thought to the spinal cord, okay, of the person. Just, in that aspect, we send that strong energetic thought, and then you also send another strong energetic thought, deleting the accumulated effects to it. And you're doing this to the spinal cord, okay, until it feels strong. You yourself can, sense it feeling strong. Now with me, because again, I've been doing it for a while, my innate intelligence has become more automatic, and it's just connecting with you, right, telepathically, and it just connects and does it very quickly.
Yeah, that's super cool. And we can go into more on this. We don't have to take our final break. If there's more that you want to go into around this to expand on, we can absolutely do that right now.
Hey, I'm all for playing.
Cool. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too. I just think that this is. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is fascinating, right? And in saying this and doing this, one of the things that, I talked about the spinal cord, central nervous system. I mean, one, that doesn't get talked enough about, right? And the spinal cord is the easiest place to elicit a change in our body. Central nervous system, everything goes through the central nervous system. We talk about the brain, but the central nervous system is the brain, the spinal cord, believe it or not, bottom brains, the tail brains, and then you've got the spinal nerves, the cerebral spinal fluid, and the meninges make up this, this unit of the central nervous system. And what's so important is that we're keeping this, vibrating. In fact, all of our internal aspects vibrating. Now, in doing that, one of our biggest concerns that I see and weaknesses that are happening for people is people are being told, hey, if you're stressed, relax more, right? Well, let's share a different aspect of this because it's really important. What happens when we're stressed out? Let's say, our body kind of tenses up, like our shoulders tighten up. You're familiar with that, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So this is our body, okay, our innate intelligence saying, hey, I'm kind of stressed out. I'm going to tense up. But if we actually help the body tense and untense, then it keeps stronger. So if we actually tense our shoulders up and then let it go, we would actually, become, less tense or less stressed. But this is what we want to do with our whole body. If we can tense and untense the internals, which we can, okay, now what we're doing is things are moving in our body. And this is really important because now we are stronger vibrationally and everything's communicating better within our body, and we're stronger to the influences that are stressing us out coming at us, okay? Because again, this body is like a computer, and it needs to have this vibrational strength, and same with the central nervous system. So what's so cool is that we can say, okay, let's strengthen the cells to the spinal cord to the cells, And then let's strengthen the cells to be in sync with all the other cells in our body and in communication with it. Okay, and we're doing this all on a strong energetic thought to the spinal cord. And what that starts doing is bringing this whole unit of us together to be able to be less stressed.
That's so interesting. So, how does that all like come together to actually work? Like, how does it's interesting because it's like I'm in this energetic state, and also I'm in my mind, and I'm like, so how does that sort of this connection to the central nervous system and our thoughts, like how does that all come together to work?
Well, first of all, one of the things that gets in the way is the mind, okay? And our mind is definitely different than our brain, okay? And the brain is not the mind. I mean, the body actually works better when the mind is out of the body. So that's one of the things we're always doing, getting it out there more. And when we start doing that, and we then just, if we just tense and untensed our body, that would be one thing. And in fact, I have a little ebook, okay, that's called Improve Your Physical Potential. It's like 7 pages, and it goes through some things to do, which would be like huge for everyone to get, just no question. That would help explain this and demonstrate it. But it's we just have this innate intelligence. I mean, all the way down to our quantum particles. If we connected our quantum particles to our spinal cord to our quantum particles, and quantum particles in sync with all the other quantum particles in our body, I mean, that's fascinating, right? And we can do that just by commanding it, and everything then starts to get easier. Yeah,
that's very interesting. It's very interesting, and I'm trying to in terms of you're talking about the science, right? And in terms of how can we all of this information that you've given us today, how can we take some of this information and actually just translate it into our everyday world?
Yeah. So first of all, one of the things we want to do is get used to being able to feel strong and weak. Okay. Just kind of, again, something's coming up, and we say, okay, is this the problem? And if it gets a strong signal, then that's not the problem. And this is another thing that I want to share is all of our diagnoses out there, there's 20,000 that's out there in the medical community, the body will always register strong to it, meaning that's not the problem. Okay, so based on that.
Well, and what does that strong signal look like for most people? Like if they're looking at it and they're trying to determine, okay, is this strong or is this weak? What does that look like?
Yeah, good. So, let's give everyone a little test. I mean, one thing we can do is just, connect with, where our energy's at right now or how we're feeling in our body, and just say, like for me, I would say, my name is Robert, my name is Robert, my name is Robert, right? And nothing seemed to change in me. I feel like, okay, yeah, my name is Robert, right? But then go ahead and say, my name is Larry, my name is Larry, my name is Larry. And you'll feel a sinking feeling, like your energy will drop, or you'll feel it, kind of drop in your belly or whatever else, right? Because it's not true, right? So this is how that kind of feels, that contrast, okay? It's sometimes easier to feel just by doing a little test to be able to get there. So, but then from there, okay, let's say again, we have this symptom or condition. Just ask the body then, is it physical, non-physical? Okay, and in which one of those two are the weakest? And then from non-physical, ask, is it spiritual or mental? Right, so we're breaking it down, mental or spiritual, and then just follow that. It's like, okay, if it's spiritual, then let's go ahead and just strengthen to that spiritual weakness. We don't have to know what it is. We're just going to strengthen to it. We're sending that strong energetic thought to the spinal cord, right? And then we're just going to delete the accumulated effects with another strong energetic thought. It could be that simple with just some of this general strengthening. Believe it or not, it's that crazy.
Do you delete it just like literally by thinking delete? Like how do you delete it?
Yes. So you're thinking, but all the same time sending a strong energetic thought to the spinal cord. Okay. So like if I do myself, at the beginning is I will actually then, kind of like flip my fingers towards my chest, my spinal cord, right, to strengthen. And then I'm moving my hands or my fingers down, delete, right? And I know the listeners are saying, no, it can't be that simple. And it can't be that simple because here, Dr. Nelson's using a magnet, right? But the body's that intelligent to relieve it if you just take the few moments to find that weakness.
Well, and I will say too, like, so I do energy clearing and energy work, and literally, you know, a lot of the work I do, and when I do the vibration activations on the show, it's literally see that come out of your body and see it being replaced by something more positive. I mean, it's literally like change. I know we get so conditioned to change and change needing to take a long time, transformation needing to take a long time. And what Robert's talking about in the work that I do with my clients too, is change does not have to take months or years. It can literally happen in half an hour, an hour. You can literally shift an entire pattern, shift an entire experience, shift an entire something that's been holding you back. And so all of that, I mean, can be shifted so quickly. And so I'm going to share my tidbits of truth just in our last couple minutes here. But before we take our final break, Robert, can you give the listeners your contact information one more time and tell a little bit more, like, is the program that you're doing this evening, that you're starting this evening, is it more of this work?
Oh, yes. The program I'm doing tonight, Improve the Potentials of Your Life, is totally more of this work, okay? So just a few moments that I normally have with people, they're just like amazed how things shift. And now we're working with the group, and we're just doing it. It's going to be a 3-month program. So we're going to make sure that people's lives change. It improves. And that's in areas of fitness, right? Finance, relationships, overall well-being, health, achievement, success, because we're going to, remove those things, those weaknesses, and then reinforce things. And so my website is bewillingtobeamazed.com, bewillingtobeamazed.com. And just go out there, look under the programs for Improve the Potentials of Your Life. And it's starting tonight and in an hour and a half or so. And once it begins, that's it. We'll be able to get in for 3 months. Awesome. So thank you, Robert, for so much for being here today. And just in our last couple of minutes before we close out, I just want to talk about, so today we've been talking about these messages that our body has for us. And it can literally be, like, so many times our body has this message of, like, it's literally a direct translation, right? I mean, I've worked with people that it's literally been, literally like one experience was pain in the knee, and it literally was translated to a neediness. So literally it's like knee neediness. Or someone was having pain by their ovaries, and it was literally because they were over their job. I mean, it can literally be that, like, literally that direct of a translation. Or, people say pain in the neck. And it's like, who's the pain in the neck in your life? I can relate to that one too, and what you're talking about with my old boss. That was some pain in the neck. And so literally, it's literally about tuning in. It's like, what message does my body have for me? And just tuning into that pain and asking what message your body has for you can change everything. And it's, it's the work that Robert does. It's the work that I do with my clients too, to clear out that energy. And you can shift the pain so quickly just by tuning in. I mean, I worked with a client who literally was creating migraines in her life to basically not have to do her work, because if she had a migraine, she wouldn't have to work, and that was a way to keep herself safe, keep herself protected. And we were able to undo that pain literally by bringing awareness to that and starting to shift that in her life. So I want to thank you, Robert, so much for being here today. I'm so grateful for all of this information. I think it's just so fun and amazing, and it's so powerful. So thank you so much for being here today. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just thank you all for tuning in to Truth Talk. I always love hearing from my audience. If you have a comment on the show or would like to introduce yourself, you can send me a note on the contact page of my website at deboraacker.com. And there you can also sign up for my complimentary 30-minute pattern identifying breakthrough session. And so until next week, I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you for listening to Truth Talk Radio with your host, Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio every Wednesday at 3 Pacific Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com and experience the truth of who you are and who you came here to be. Each week, Deb interviews an inspiring guest and illuminates the truth to a wide range of topics, including love, life, purpose, career, consciousness, and abundance. Welcome to the world of infinite possibilities. For more information about Deb, including how to contact or work with her, visit truthtalkradioshow.com. Look forward to seeing you next week for more Truth Talk Radio.